Good morning, students. Today I have a very interesting topic lined up for you. But before I start, I want to know, do you have a pet cat? If yes, well and good. Have you ever noticed anything mysterious about it? It is not easy to say whether every cat is a mystery, but Macavity is one for sure. Today we will be exploring this fluffy bundle of mystery. It is about a cat, but it isn't a normal cat. It's a criminal cat. It's so clever that it keeps the best criminal agencies on its toe. Before reading the poem, let's know about its poet. The author of this playful poem is T.S. Eliot, who seems to be fond of cats. He writes about this villainous and wicked cat. The poem describes how he manages to commit all types of crimes and always escape from being caught. Thomas Stearns Eliot was born on 26 September 1888. He was an American born British poet. The poem Macavity, Cat is extracted from T.S. Eliot's famous book Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. His other notable works are The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, The Wasteland, Four Quartets, Murder in the Cathedral, etc. Notable awards Nobel Prize in Literature. Let me recite the whole poem once for you, then I will explain its stanzas. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw. For he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying Scot despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He has broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he's a friend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. For you meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. It's a beautiful poem about this mysterious cat. Now let's start with the explanation of the poem. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's a master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying Scot despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Defy means openly refuse to obey. Bafflement, unable to understand or explain. Scotland Yard is actually headquarters of London Police Force. Flying Squad, a special group of officers trained to act quickly. Despair, complete loss of hope. This poem describes the story of a mystery cat, Macavity. Macavity is a fictional character and depicts the actions of the crooks. He is also known as Hidden Paw. He is a notorious criminal, spy, and a trickster, and openly disobeys the law. Macavity is a mastermind and leaves no evidence after committing the crime. Thus, the Scotland Yard police is also helpless. The flying squad has also never succeeded in catching him, as he runs faster than them and disappears from the crime scene. Macavity, Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. He has broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make a fakir stare. When you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may see it in the basement, you may look up in the air. But I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Now, what is the meaning of levitation? Levitation, causing something to rise and hover in the air. Like you can see here, this fakir, he is in levitation. He is floating in the air. Here again, this Macavity cat, this ginger cat is floating in the air. Fakir. Fakir is actually a poor man who lives on alms and is into mystical practice, into magical practices. The poet says that Macavity is unique. There is no one like him. He is very unique. He not only breaks the human law, but also the laws of nature. He can float in the air without any support and thus breaks the gravitational law of nature. He is said It is said that the fakirs have some magical powers, but even they look at him in surprise that how this cat can do this and vanish in the air in no time. Thus he has supernatural and magical powers, is what being depicted in the poem. Surprisingly, even when one rushes to the crime scene, they cannot find this Macavity cat. He is not in the basement. You cannot find him in the basement. That is under the earth. Nor you can find him in the air. That is sky. Thus we can say that he outwits the world's top investigation agencies. Nobody is able to catch this cat because he has supernatural powers. He has magical powers. He can vanish. You cannot find him underground. You cannot find him in the air or in the sky. He just disappears from the scene. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Ginger cat are a category of cat, a breed of cat, which are tall and thin in their physical nature. Macavity's appearance is also very special. He is easily recognizable as he is a tall and thin ginger cat. He has sunken eyes. Sunken eyes means it's deep inside the eyeballs, and his brows have deep wrinkles. His eyebrows depict that he is in deep and continuous planning of criminal acts. Also, he never combs his whiskers. Whiskers are this hair. He never combs his whiskers and constantly neglects his skin. He doesn't take care of his body. Thus, he is full of dust, very untidy. His head is also highly domed. Domed means round in shape. One can find him swaying his head from side to side just like a snake. Sways means it's a rhythmical movement from side to side. When you wave your head side to side in a rhythm, that is called sway. One may feel that he is in deep sleep, but he will be only dozing. Thus he is a proficient cheat, spy, and a trickster. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. For he's a friend in felon shape, a monster of depravity. For you meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square. But when a crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. Again, this poet is saying that this Macavity cat is unique. There is no one like Macavity. The author says that Macavity possesses a unique character. You find him in the incarnation of evil. He finds him to be the incarnation of evil. He says that one can see Macavity anywhere easily, may it be in the street or in the square. But whenever you find him in order to punish, whenever you want to find him in order to punish him for any of his crimes, he cannot be found anywhere. Depravity means morally corrupted or wickedness. Felon means belonging or related to a cat family. Now let's see what are the poetic devices used in this poem. There are various types of repetitions used here. Anaphora, personification, alliteration. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of anaphora? Anaphora is the repetition of a phrase in a poem to create poetic effect. Like Macavity, Macavity. Macavity is not there. This is use of anaphora to create the poetic effect. Personification. Personification is giving human characteristics to animals or living things. Here in the poem, Macavity is personified as he does all things like humans. That is personification. Alliteration. It is a repetition of consonant sounds in the line. Example, Macavity's mystery. Here M are the consonant sounds that are being repeated. Head is highly. Here H is the consonant that is being repeated. Side to side. S is being repeated. So this is alliteration. The rhyming scheme, try to find out yourself. It's in the form of A, A, B, B and so on. Thank you.